Mixed media cards don't have to be that difficult. With just a few basic supplies, you can make a gorgeous card. Hi, it's Colleen and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss another of my videos. We're going to make a mixed media card today. We're going to use this stamp, which is called Spread Your Wings by Hannah Drapinski. This is part of the new Gina K Designs release that just came out today. It's a 6x8 stamp set with a gorgeous butterfly floral image and another floral image and several well calligraphied sentiments that go with it. It's a beautiful stamp set. We're going to use a few more supplies for our mixed media card. We're going to use this Master Layout 7 die cut because we're going to make some layers. And then we're going to make a background with this elegant script background stamp, along with 3 of Gina's inks, some alcohol markers, and embossing powder. Now, all this is going to come together beautifully and easily. Wait and see, guys. So the first step is to get our focal point ready. And the focal point will be this butterfly / flower. I'm going to stamp it in black Gina K amalgam ink because I'm going to do some Copic coloring. And this ink is really good with alcohol markers because the ink won't bleed. And that's really important if you're going to be using a coloring medium like alcohol markers. So I'm just stamping it a few times because I want a really good crisp image since this is my focal point and there is so much detail to this stamp that I really want all that detail to show. Look at that beautiful stamp. Oh, Hannah is so talented. Now it's time to do some coloring. I am using Copic markers, but you can use whatever medium you want. The point here is to get some bright, vibrant color on this butterfly and the flowers because this is going to be our focal point. And mixed media cards can tend to get a little busy, so you really want to make sure that your focal point pops off the page and really stands out and that the rest of the layers complement it. You'll see more as I go along here. But I'm just using some basic colors and I'm showing you how easy it is to color this image. Do not stress about coloring this, guys. You just want to make it pretty so that that gorgeous image stands off the page. So I'm going to be doing some coloring here. I got a lot to color. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to put some music on so that you can watch what I'm doing, relax and enjoy yourself and, you know, get your markers out and do some coloring along with me. So now that my coloring is done, I am going to trace over the stamp and create a little bit of an outline because I'm going to fussy cut this flower out. And I thought that tracing the stamp would make it a lot easier for me to fussy cut and not make any mistakes. I don't know where I learned this idea, but I think it's a pretty clever idea if you're doing some fussy cutting. So you could see the line going around it in pencil so that you can definitely erase any marks that you have. And then I'm just going around and fussy cutting it. Now this looks rather painful for me because I'm actually left-handed and I'm cutting with right-handed scissors. While I can do it, it's a bit awkward for me, but I just wanted you to see the process of how easy fussy cutting can be. And then once that's done, then this image will be ready once I get the rest of my mixed media layers together. So I'm just about done fussy cutting this whole thing out, and that is a very beautiful butterfly floral image. Now let's get to the mixed media layers. The first layer is going to be to emboss a background. Now this is a 5x7 card panel, and I am going to emboss this Scripty Elements background. I'm just making sure that the lettering is right side up, and I'm going to heat emboss this with white embossing powder. It doesn't fit all the way on the page, but I was able to go back in and stamp it a second time to make sure that it fit nicely on that entire 5x7 card panel. So I'm inking it up with my sticky ink, and then I'm going to add my white embossing powder, and then the next step would be to heat set it because I'm going to be adding some ink over that. Now you can't see anything yet, but you will soon. So the next step would be to do some ink smushing and splattering to add some color over that embossing. That embossing powder, that embossing will resist this ink. So you'll still see the script through the color, and you'll see what I mean as we go along. It's not going to be crystal clear, and it's not meant to be crystal clear. It's meant to add texture and interest and color. So I'm just taking the 3 inks from Gina K Designs, and I'm running them along my glass media mat, and then I'm adding a little bit of water, and I'm just placing this card panel. It is not a watercolor card panel, it's a regular card panel. And I'm placing it over there, just slowly building some color up over that heat embossed scripty background. You could use watercolor paper. That might make it a little bit easier, but I found that this worked very well because I'm not doing that much here. So now is the ink smushing part, or is the splattering part. But for me, rather than splattering, I am using a little, I forgot what it's called, saran wrap. And I'm just dabbing it in the ink and then dabbing it over my card panel. And you get the same effect as if you do splatters. But what I like is that it's not as messy, because when I do splatters, I tend to get splatters everywhere, on my computer, on my lamp, everywhere. So this is actually another option to give you some splatters with the darkest color so that it really pops off the page. And that's the background. Here's first 2 layers done. Now we're going to do some stamping elements. Now we could stamp right on that card panel we just made, but instead I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to stamp the other floral image from that stamp set onto this layer. This is one of the layers from the Master Layouts 7 image. It's a mini slimline size, but we're actually going to be placing this on a 5x7 card panel. So really all I'm doing here is I'm stamping that floral image in black and white. What I like about that is that it breaks up all that color, and then we're going to be putting the butterfly stamp over this. So this black and white section will really help the butterfly pop off the page more rather than just blend into that very busy background. You'll see in a minute what I do. So now I'm taking the layer that's just a little bit bigger. You see the 2 layers I used from Master Element 7, and I die cut it in black, and now I'm going to adhere this card panel over that black one. And then this layer will be finished. So we will have 2 layers finished. So I'm doing this a little bit differently with mixed media. You could certainly do everything in 1 layer, but I decided I wanted to do some die cutting and create my layers that way. Now I'm going to go in and add my sentiment, and I'm choosing one that says, hang on here, let me read it to you. It's very, very pretty. It says, butterflies are the heaven-sent kisses of an angel. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to stamp that on my sentiment. And then this is also going to be adhered over a little black card panel in black that is slightly larger. This was also part of the Master Layouts 7. I like those because they're really, you get so many options with those, and they come from Gina K Designs. So they're called Master Layouts. All right, now we're ready to put everything together. We've created our layers. Now it's time to put the whole kit and caboodle together. So I'm adhering my layer 2 over my first layer, which was that inky background. Isn't that pretty? And you noticed I used colors in that background that are the same as the colors of my butterfly floral. I did that on purpose so that you have a cohesive look here with your color. It's busy, but not too busy because I minimized the amount of color that I used. And that to me is really key here. Only use about 2 to 3 colors and add some black and white in there. Make sure you have some white space in there like I have, and I think you're good to go. And don't get too many elements out for mixed media cards because it can overwhelm you. Just stick to maybe 2 or 3 stamps, some embossing powder, some splatters, and then make your mixed media card with that. And you will guaranteed have a gorgeous, simple mixed media card. So I'm just working on placement here to make sure everything is going to go where I want it to go. And I'm finishing with some pretty sequins for my beautiful butterfly, and this card is finished. It was really easy. Here is another look at the finished product. I hope that you enjoyed spending some time with me today and that you will get some of your products out and make yourself a mixed media card and just play with it. Practice it. Don't stress over it. Enjoy the process. All the supplies I used will be in the description box below. Gina K Designs release is live now, so I will include the link to her website, and I hope you enjoy your shopping expedition.